House Cawdor has had enough. The priest Gabriel has amassed riches beyond measure in the Prometheum trade in Acropolis. This means nothing to him, however, as the unfaithful, the unjust still run wild on the streets. As a sector-wide shutdown looms, both House Cawdor and House Goliath will fight in the darkness to where only one will see the next artificial dawn. Welcome to Ashes of Acropolis, presented by Miniature Game Montage. Welcome back, Necromunda fans. We're back for episode 28, the season finale for season 4. I'm writing my 29th page of this campaign, and it has been an amazing journey with my son, pitting these gangs against each other, and it has taken almost 3 years to play this campaign out. We introduced House Cawdor, House Van Saar, Cultists, the Ironhead Prospectors, Nomads, Ogren. We're making this the biggest campaign that we've ever done. It all comes to an end today, however, as we see House Cawdor and House Goliath in a matchup we did not see in the regular season. Be sure to watch until the end, and you'll see what we have coming up next for Necromunda content as we tweak and will continue to play in a new setting. The Brethren of Judgment has 55 credits, Ezekiel adds choke grenades, and Micah adds an additional reclaimed auto pistol. Isaiah gets an advancement to his intelligence, and the house departs with 2 fighters in recovery, a total gang rating of 1525. The Forge of House Goliath has 60 credits and 2 bruisers in recovery. They recruit an additional bruiser and equip him with a stub gun. The leader, Steel Toe, takes an advancement from a random skill and gets Hurl. Scud increases his willpower and Scorch increases his cool. They depart with 9 active fighters and a gang rating of 1605. In today's matchup, we have the scenario Long Night. The battlefield will be standard and crews are custom 10. We'll be playing on a 3x3 and deployment will be narrowed. Gang tactics will be 2 each. House Cawdor selects Divine Motivation and no prisoners. House Goliath will take Ceramite Skin and Unstoppable Behemoth. This battle will end after 9 rounds, or if only 1 gang remains on the battlefield, victory will go to the gang left, and the winner will be crowned champion of Season 4. Now, there are several special rules that you're supposed to use in this scenario, and in the effort of balance, we are going to forego many of those. That includes creatures in the dark, and as the sector gets colder, then you would have to move or take a flesh wound. We're really going to try to level the playing field as much as possible for these 2 gangs. As always, thank you so much for your support over the years. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination. Let's get down to tableside for turn 1 of our championship game. And House Cawdor will start by playing a tactics card, Divine Motivation, which will give their leader a -2 to their cool checks. House Cawdor does have the first activation, sending their brethren Zachariah forward with 2 moves. House Goliath sends their newly recruited bruiser forward. Over on the Cawdor right flank, the brethren Friar moves forward. A lot of moves in this opening turn. House Goliath will activate their stemmer Scud, and he'll use both actions to move. The first Redemptionist is going to activate. This is Lazarus, also using both of his actions to move forward. Up next we have Lutz, using both of his actions to move as he works his way up the Goliath left flank. Up next is Ezekiel with his Eviscerator, using both actions to move forward. House Goliath will activate Buster with his grenade launcher, using both of his actions to scale the building. Another Brethren moves forward with a blunderbuss pole, trying to occupy the center of the board. Ajax will activate next, and he'll move down the Goliath left flank. Up next, Priest Gabriel will activate, using both actions to move down the center, using the walkway on the 2nd floor. House Goliath activates their bully, sending him down the middle. Jedediah, the firebrand, will use both of his actions to move, tucking up behind the priest Gabriel. The leader of the Goliath gang, Steel Toe, will move up behind the bully. The Redemptionist Isaiah is going to move up behind one of the Cawdor brethren at the center of the board. The Goliath champion Scorch moves into position with his rivet cannon as we see a Beseech the God Emperor from one of the Bone Pickers. The Goliath Zerker Humongous repositions, moving towards the left flank. The last two activations belong to House Cawdor. We see Beseech the God Emperor, which will allow them to roll 3d6 for faith dice. There'll be a total of 9 coming from those Bone Pickers, 2 for each champion and the leader, and 1 for every other fighter on the board. On a 5+, they will generate a faith die. And a total of 9 faith go over to House Cawdor as we get ready for turn 2. Priority rolls coming out now. The turn stays with the House of Faith as we see a Beseech the God Emperor at the very beginning. This puts the onus back on House Goliath, who are outnumbered, to activate first. Lutz moves forward with his stub cannon, identifies a brethren within 12 inches, and fires, but he misses. That shot requiring a 4+, Beseech the God Emperor happening again from another Bone Picker. House Goliath moves over to Buster as he moves forward to the ledge, and he is going to fire his grenade launcher blindly into the dark. At -2, he will need 6s in order to hit, which is next to the House Cawdor brethren. His shot is going to miss. Lucky for the brethren, the shot impacts some barrels and explodes. And once again from House Cawdor, we see another Beseech the God Emperor from one of the Bone Pickers, throwing the turn back to House Goliath as they move their bully down the center. The bully is carrying a frag grenade, and he decides to toss it into the darkness near Priest Gabriel. It's an impossible shot, so we will need to see a 6 first. The ammo check for grenade is passed on a 6+, and the scatter die is rolled, and it still hits into Gabriel, knocking him back into the champion. A 6 is rolled on the knockback, blasting him back. This will do 1 extra damage if it indeed does a wound, which we'll want to see 4s, and we do not. With no wound, Priest Gabriel coming away very lucky on that exchange. And next up, we will see the Firebrand. He is going to move and then scale the building. Back over for House Goliath. The Stimmer activates next, and they throw him forward, moving very quickly. This will get a reaction from the Brethren as he fires his Blunderbuss pole, and Nerves of Steel just barely passed on that Stimmer. Ceramite Skin is played, which will ignore any damage from a weapon with a Blaze trait. Friar moves away from the Stimmer as Ajax continues to push up the Goliath left flank. And the first big risk from House Cawdor comes from Matthias as he moves forward and aims his Blunderbuss pole at the Stimmer, knowing that Ceramite Skin is out of their hands. The Stimmer is toughness 6, and a 6 is rolled to wound. His furnace plates with cover go to a 4+, which is good, and he is not set ablaze. And a high-risk, high-reward move from House Cawdor, squandered by the dice as the Stimmer remains upright. We do have Humongous moving next, and he is going to move twice. House Cawdor activates the Redemptionist Isaiah as he moves forward and will pass. The newly recruited Bruiser Slick is going to move into the alleyway. He does carry a stub gun, and he can see the Brethren, Matthias, within 12 inches, and he lands a hit. The stub gun needs 4s to wound, which is good. The flak armor save is failed, an injury die rolling out, and it is going to be a flesh wound on Matthias. House Cawdor nearly avoiding disaster to a stub gun. As they move back, we do have a Redemptionist. This is Lazarus. He is going to continue moving, now inside of one of the buildings. Over for House Goliath, Scorch, the champion, will activate, moving forward with both of his actions, getting out of line of sight and into cover. Brethren Zachariah continues his move up the left flank, staying in cover. Steel Toe then tucks up behind the bully, using him as a screen, as we see Ezekiel moving now up the stairs. Priest Gabriel is going to get to his feet and then use his second action to move forward behind the barrels and into cover. And turn 2 is history, and House Cawdor took a big risk there. They did flush out Ceramite's skin, but they were unable to set the stemmer on fire, which is going to be key to their strategy in this game. Meanwhile, a bruiser counters with a stub gun, taking a flesh wound off one of the brethren. House Cawdor do roll a lot of faith dice and will max those out at the number of fighters they have. And we get ready for turn 3. And turn 3 opens up with House Goliath. We will see a big risk from the stemmer. He needs to maximize his charge here in order to make it into contact with the brethren. And that is exactly what he gets as he charges into combat. He will be at -1 to hit as he could not see the target, but at weapon skill 3, he is still going to land 5 blows. Anything but 1s to wound at strength 6, and the brethren is taken out of action, getting the coup de grace from the stemmer. And House Goliath will claim first blood as Jedediah looks down the sights of his heavy crossbow, loading up a crack grenade. With his ballistic skill of 2, he barely lands a hit, but he rolls a 1 to wound. The fighter goes down pinned and has to take an initiative check, which he fails. As he plummets to the bottom, a strength 3 hit will cause a wound. The bully has no armor, and an injury die will be rolled out. He takes a serious injury. And House Cawdor quickly strikes back with a crack grenade shot from their firebrand. Up next, Steel Toe will use an action to aim and an action to fire at Gabriel, but he rolls a 1 and the shot is going to miss. Meanwhile, the brethren Zachariah moves forward and he's going to fire his blunderbuss pole with purgation through a small gap, targeting Scorch. There is no wound, and Scorch avoids being set ablaze. As the turn swings back to House Goliath, Thrash, who recently went down with a serious injury, is going to crawl towards the bruiser so he can lend him an assist in the end phase. Just on the other side of the building, Ezekiel is going to move and throw a choke gas grenade down at Scorch. Not targeting a fighter, the gas grenade needs a 5 to hit. It does miss, and the scatter, luckily for Scorch, is just going to miss him. The grenade check is good. As Scorch gets to his feet, he's going to fire through this narrow opening at Zachariah with his rivet cannon. The shot is going to miss, and then we see Lazarus use both of his actions to move. House Goliath decides to relocate Buster as he is going to fire a frag grenade. He fires into the darkness, so a 6 is required, and it fails. An ammo check is required, looking for a 6, and that's bad news for him. He is out of ammo. The shot scatters to still connect with Priest Gabriel, and he goes down pinned. There is no wound. An initiative check is passed to prevent falling. The priest will be knocked back, however. With the next activation, House Cawdor is going to invoke an Article of Faith, and lo, he did illuminate them. This is coming from Isaiah at the center of the board. He's going to throw 2 faith dice at this, and he'll be looking for a 3+. And he just succeeds. Firing his autogun with an aim, he lands a hit onto the bully twice, and then fails to wound. Meanwhile, the bruiser Slick aims his stub gun, fires at Friar, and lands a hit. We'll need 3s to wound. With a flesh wound on the brethren, he does get it. Flak armor save will be taken and failed, and the injury die is an out of action. So the stub gun being very effective in the hands of the bully. Back over to House Cawdor in the backfield, a bone picker will use both actions to move. House Goliath will do the same as another bone picker is on the move for House Cawdor. The House of Chains think they see an opportunity with one of their bruisers, sending him forward with a stub cannon, but the Redemptionist is outside of 12 inches and therefore can't be seen, and the shot cracks into the dark. House Cawdor takes their bone picker Micah and uses an action to move. He then tries to target the stemmer with one of his reclaimed auto pistols, landing a hit. Nerves of Steel just barely passed There is no wound. He does fire another pistol that he's equipped with, lands another hit. Nerves of Steel rolled again and is successful. There is no wound. House Goliath then sends their brute towards the center of the board as the Priest Gabriel activates. He is going to stand and then get into some cover. Turn 3 winds down. We did see 2 casualties for House Cawdor and 1 serious injury for House Goliath. Action really starting to heat up as both gangs close in on each other, pitch black starting to become less and less of an issue as the gangs get closer. No battle checks required. Thrash taking a recovery roll. Take no prisoners played for House Cawdor. That is 2 injury dice taking the worst. They're trying to put him out of action, but he stays down. Turn 4 begins with House Cawdor winning priority and a major risk from Isaiah, the Redemptionist, as he moves forward. He's got a one-shot weapon. His Exterminator needs a 5 to wound at strength 3, and he gets it on a 6. The armor save has failed, and Unstoppable Behemoth played by House Goliath, where this fighter will not be pinned. The bigger question is, will he be set ablaze on a 4+? And no, he is not. Goliath Tactics card allowing the Zerker to then charge into the Redemptionist. The Zerker knocks him back, and at strength 6 just needs 2s to wound. Both shots connect with flesh, bypasses armor, 2 injury dice rolled out. It is 2 flesh wounds on the Redemptionist. Reaction attacks come back across from the Redemptionist, but they will miss. As we go over to House Cawdor, there will be an Article of Faith cast. And the heart of the heretic was easily cowed as he forces an intelligence test on Steel Toe, which he fails, and he loses his ready marker. Gabriel moves forward with his first action and then points his Exterminator at Steel Toe, lets loose with the template weapon. Nerves of Steel from Steel Toe will be passed, and Gabriel needs a 6 to do a wound, and he does not. But is he set on fire on a 4+? No! Just to the side of Gabriel, Lazarus moves up and attempts to fire a crack grenade, and he lands a hit and does a wound. With Nerves of Steel passed, an injury die will come out due to the crack grenade doing 2 damage, and it is a serious injury. With the group activation complete, we move back to House Goliath, where Scorch aims his rivet cannon through the corridor here, and he needs a 4 to hit. He is going to miss. This gives the Brethren an opportunity to come around the corner, getting up close with his blunderbuss pole and firing in purgation mode. Flames spew across 3 House Goliath fighters. Nerves of Steel on Scorch is passed. Scorch will take a wound from the blunderbuss, but his furnace plates and the cover will give him a save. On a 4+, Scorch is set on fire. Next we have Slick, the newly recruited bruiser. He also suffers a wound, taking his save. Furnace plates in the back. That's also a save with cover. On a 4+, he is also set on fire. The flames also hit the bully Thrash, failing to do a wound, but on a 4+, he will be set ablaze, and he is all 3 House Goliath fighters now on fire. Disaster strikes for House Goliath as the bruiser Slick activates. He does suffer a wound from a strength 3 hit to which he can't save. He takes a flesh wound. He runs 2d6 in a random direction, hitting the wall, falling to the ground, but he is able to put out the fire. Meanwhile, House Cawdor moves a Bone Picker with 2 moves. Next to activate for House Goliath is Thrash, suffering a strength 3 hit. There's no wound here, needing 5s. He lays where he is, seriously injured, attempting to put out the fire, and he does. House Cawdor then sends a Bone Picker ever closer with 2 moves. From on top of the building, Buster successfully reloads his grenade launcher and fires 12 inches and lands a hit. The knockback on both fighters is going to be successful. Starting with Lazarus, we roll up a strength 3 hit, which fails to wound. We then roll up a strength 3 hit on Gabriel, which is going to wound. His mesh armor save is no good, and then he will take a wound. As Priest Gabriel falls to the ground, an initiative test is required and is passed, and he will go down where he is. The turn swings back to House Cawdor, where we see Beseech the God Emperor from one of the Bone Pickers. The bruiser Lutz will reposition with his stub cannon, while the firebrand Jedediah comes down from his perch, unable to see any viable targets. On the other side of the board, the stemmer Scud uses both of his actions to move as he climbs the ladder, getting on the second floor of the structure. The House of Faith will activate Ezekiel, moving him twice. House Goliath will then activate Ajax, using both of his actions to climb the structure. And turn 4 was absolute mayhem as 3 Goliath fighters were set ablaze, 2 of them, though, able to put it out. Steel Toe is down with a serious injury, which could pose a big problem, but House Goliath is closing the door. Faith dice are coming out, and they will be taken back to the maximum. For recovery rolls, the bully Thrash is going to permanently succumb to his injuries, rolling for an out of action and a 66. Steel Toe will stay down with a serious injury, suffering a flesh wound. Priority rolls get ready to come out for turn 5. The tie going to House Goliath. And the question is defense or offense. House Goliath electing to go defense, getting their bruiser to his feet and then moving him out of the flamer's way. This is going to allow Isaiah the opportunity to cast an Article of Faith, attempting to steal the Brute's ready marker if he fails an intelligence check. Casting a lot of dice at this, looking for an 8+. The intelligence check is passed on a 10+. The fighter then passes an initiative check to retreat. The Brute attempting to pass an initiative check to make a reaction attack, and he fails. He then fires his autogun, landing a hit, sending the Brute down pinned, and there is no wound, but mission accomplished. Back for House Goliath, Buster eyeing down targets again with his grenade launcher, firing a frag, and that shot is going to miss. The grenade erupts into the corner of the building, hitting the firebrand, and it will do a knockback and a wound. The armor save is going to be failed. The firebrand takes a wound. Buster takes his second action to move out of line of sight. House Cawdor activates Gabriel, who attempts to steal Ajax's ready marker, and he fails, as this activation will be over. Meanwhile, Lutz turns the corner with his stub cannon. He can see Gabriel firing up at him, needing a 5 in order to hit, and he gets it. 3s are needed to wound, and that is good. Gabriel goes down pinned, fails his armor save, and that's an injury die coming out. It's a serious injury. An initiative check is taken and passed. And there's a mess in the middle as the firebrand Jedediah gets to his feet. He is going to move over to assist Gabriel in the end phase. Meanwhile, Steel Toe for House Goliath is going to crawl, looking to get to safety. The Redemptionist Lazarus will get to his feet and then move into cover. House Goliath then activates Scorch, taking a Strength 3 hit. There's no wound. The fighter then runs in a random direction, falls to the ground, and puts the fire out. House Cawdor sends Micah, their bone picker, forward to back up Isaiah. He's once again targeting the stemmer, and he hits with one of his reclaimed auto pistols. Nerves of Steel is passed. There will be no wound. He fires with the second and misses. The stemmer Scud, trying to do a long charge into Isaiah, will fail. The Brethren Zachariah moves to the side of Scorch and will fire his blunderbuss pole again. There will be no wound, but the blaze roll on a 4+ is good. With Scorch in trouble again, Humongous the Zerker will get to his feet and then move slowly, closing the gap on Isaiah. Ezekiel moves towards Scorch while he's on the ground burning, using both actions to move. The Bruiser Ajax then activates and takes up a position in cover on the bridge. One of the Bone Pickers is going to beseech the God Emperor, getting 3 dice. The other will do the same. And with a quick end to turn 5, Isaiah was able to bail out of a sticky situation up against one of the brutes, able to take his activation away with an Article of Faith and then retreat and hit him with an autogun. The House of Faith use all of their faith dice in that round, so getting some back now. Steel Toe will take another flesh wound as he stays down with a serious injury. Priest Gabriel, getting an assist from the Firebrand, will avoid taking a flesh wound. And we dive straight into turn 6, House Cawdor winning the initiative. Priest Gabriel will attempt to steal the marker from Ajax. He is good, needing an 8+ on that roll. The intelligence check is failed, and Ajax loses his marker. The stub gun shot from Priest Gabriel misses in full cover, while the Firebrand next to him, as part of a group activation, fires a frag grenade into the group of Goliath fighters, landing a hit. Nerves of Steel is passed on the Stemmer, and at toughness 5 and 6, there's no knockback for either fighter. There's also no wound for either fighter, but Humongous will go down pinned. And House Goliath does have the next activation. They will activate their Stemmer as he charges into Isaiah, getting another brutal 8 attacks, hitting on 2s this time. The Stemmer wounds on 2s as well, and he will easily dispatch the Redemptionist. With another fighter down at the hands of the Stemmer, he now consolidates, turning his attention to the second level. From across on another platform, Lazarus fires a crack grenade, landing a hit. An ammo check is required and successful. The shot wounds Ajax, and there's no armor save that's going to help him. It's a flesh wound. He does take an initiative check, and he will fail, and he plummets to the second level, where he will take another strength 3 hit with no wound. Seeing this, Lazarus moves forward, fires his stub cannon, needing 4s to hit Lazarus, and that shot is going to hit. An ammo check will be required on a 3+. That's no good. Lazarus is going to be knocked back. He will suffer a wound at strength 5. The armor save is no good. An injury roll coming out here for Lazarus, and it will be a flesh wound. On the other side of the board, Ezekiel charges into versatile range with his Eviscerator, landing 2 hits. A wound converts with the AP doubled, and Scorch will take a wound. Buster then activates for House Goliath as he moves back into range with his grenade launcher, firing and missing. The scatter will roll out, and it will almost hit his own fighter. The shot erupts into the side of the building with no impact. Next, Zachariah moves into versatile range with his pole arm, and he will land a hit against Scorch. He will also wound. Furnace plates fail to block the shot. An injury die coming out is a serious injury for Scorch. Scorch lays on the ground, activating next, taking a strength 3 hit. There's no wound, and he is able to successfully put out the fire. Meanwhile, Bone Pickers begin to shuffle around in the backfield as Humongous begins to work his way up the ladder after standing. Another Bone Picker will beseech the God Emperor, trying to replenish some faith dice. And Steel Toe once again electing to crawl to get space between him and the Cawdor fighters. With another Beseech the God Emperor, we go to House Goliath for their last activation, where the Bruiser Slick will come back around the corner, and he is going to fire his stub gun, which has been very effective so far in this game. He takes a shot at the Brethren, close range, landing a hit. It would require 4s to wound, and he gets it. Flak armor save will fail, and he goes down with a serious injury. The stub gun absolutely doing work for the Bruiser at short and long range. He's now in position to give an assist to Scorch. A nearby cool check from Ezekiel is passed. Turn 6 comes to a close. There's so much going on across the board, but House Goliath is still only down 1 fighter. They do have 2 fighters that are seriously injured. The game right now still too close to call as House Cawdor goes chasing for more faith dice. For recovery, the Brethren will stay down with a serious injury. The assist coming from Scorch will allow him to roll back over. Steel Toe stayed down with a serious injury as well. House Cawdor does take the initiative roll, and it looks like Ezekiel is charging into full contact with Scorch as he rises to meet him. He only hits once with his Eviscerator, however, and then fails to wound. Reaction attacks come back across from Scorch, and he will land one hit, and he will land a wound. Mesh armor is failed, and it looks like Ezekiel will take his first wound as Buster lines up another frag grenade shot. That is going to miss and scatter. It again explodes into the darkness. Next, the Firebrand fires a crack grenade at Humongous, landing a hit, ammo check required, and failed. He successfully wounds the Brute, bypassing his armor, so an injury roll comes out here for the Brute, and it will be a flesh wound as he plummets to the bottom after failing an initiative check. Strength 3 hit is no good. And while this is going on, the Bruiser charges into the Brethren, taking him out of action as Priest Gabriel moves twice, heading towards Steel Toe. Steel Toe activates again, electing to crawl. He should be on 3 flesh wounds with his serious injury. Up next, Lazarus will get to his feet, doesn't really have any viable targets, so he will move into cover. The Stemmer then moves twice, making his way up to the second platform. Bone Pickers continue to move in the backfield as Humongous will stand and then pass. One of the Bone Pickers will beseech the God Emperor, giving them 3 faith dice. As Ajax activates, he will stand and then move, staying in cover. Another Bone Picker in the backfield will shuffle around, moving twice. Lutz then attempting to reload his stub cannon, he fails twice. House Goliath continues to activate with Scorch, trying to attack Ezekiel, and his shots are going to miss. Ezekiel tries to make reaction attacks, both will hit, and there will be no wounds. And that's all for the turn, as House Cawdor rolls out for more faith dice. Still nobody in jeopardy of bottling. No bottle checks required. We do have a recovery roll coming from Steel Toe, and he stays down with a serious injury. And this would be his 4th flesh wound, but he is toughness 6, so continuing to hang around as priority rolls go to House Goliath with the tie. Buster is going to move and line up a frag grenade shot, taking the risk. He does hit Priest Gabriel. The roll for knockback is no good. The roll to wound is good, and the armor save will be failed. An injury die will come out for Priest Gabriel, and it is a serious injury. In frustration, Lazarus turns the corner, attempts to fire a crack grenade into the face of the Stemmer, but he misses. Meanwhile, the Bruiser Slick charges into Lazarus. He does land a hit, getting an assist that does wound. Mesh armor is going to fail, and an injury die coming out here. It is a serious injury. Lazarus gets the coup de grace. And that is the 3rd out of action caused by Slick, the new Bruiser on the roster. The Firebrand Jedediah desperately attempting to reload his crossbow, and he fails twice as the Stemmer charges into Lazarus. He hits on anything but 1, and he wounds on anything but 1. We go straight to the D66 roll, and the Stemmer consolidates. And the turn comes to a close, with House Goliath really gaining a ton of momentum. House Cawdor making a few moves out of frustration there, but their leader down with a serious injury. They also lost one of their champions, Ezekiel. They also have a Firebrand that is out of ammunition, and House Goliath fighters continuing to surround them. House Cawdor does pass a bottle check. Priest Gabriel, however, will stay down, with Steel Toe rolling back over with a flesh wound on 1 toughness. It was at this moment that darkness consumed the entire sector. And as the artificial dawn began to rise, House Cawdor was nowhere to be found. House Goliath began to celebrate their victory as Season 4 champions of Ashes of Acropolis. And that brings our season to a close, and what a season it was. House Cawdor, undefeated the entire season, really did so well with their template weapons, ran into a stone wall with House Goliath, struggling at first, then catching some wind, but at the end of the day, House Goliath got too close and made them pay. I really hope you have enjoyed this season of Necromunda. It has been an absolute pleasure making this content over the last few years. We've poured hundreds of hours into writing the pre-narrative stories, to keeping the gangs up to date, playing the games, editing the videos, and then producing something that I think is enjoyable for people to watch. I've learned so much during this campaign from so many different gangs, like how powerful Cawdor is with their devout masses, their faith dice. They have so much trickery to do on the battlefield, and I also learned a lot about House Goliath, not just in this game, but how the Zerker, for what it is priced, is not really that good of a fighter. It has really been incredible seeing these characters develop and how they've leveled up. Some died and didn't make it, but that's what's fun for me. That's why I enjoy Necromunda so much. So the big question on everybody's mind is what's coming up next for Necromunda on MGM? And I'm going to hand it to you. I'm going to put a poll up very soon that is going to be Ash Waste or Hive Secundus. I'm ready with both of them. You can vote. Let me know which setting you would like to see some gangs in. We probably will not do it as big as this one, where it takes a few years to complete a campaign. We'll probably slim down the gang list, but we're going to have a ton of fun. I'll let you pick the setting, and regardless of which setting wins, we will do the next one right after. Before we do a final sign-off for Season 4 and gear up for Season 5, I do want to say thanks to a lot of the people that have made a lot of things possible. Skirmish Mats, they've been a fantastic partner. The folks over at Saucerman Studios, I backed their Kickstarter. They had the terrain that you saw today. The folks over at Yak Tribe, Gildersford Radio, Some City Radio, some podcasts. My friend David, who helped make some of the custom Zone Mortalis style terrain that we use. Necromunda Worldwide, the Facebook group, Goonhammer, of course my awesome subscribers, the Supporters Club, and my family. Thanks for putting up with all of this that I do, and my son and my daughter who will step in occasionally. I really appreciate your help. I know I'm missing a ton of people, so I'm sorry if I didn't catch you, but Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now, and that's by no means necessary. I ask for absolutely nothing. I always consider, and will always consider, all of my content to be absolutely free. Your support certainly does not go unnoted and definitely helps with all the things that I'm always printing and trying to keep up with to make our game better. So thank you so much. We will see you in the next one. Take care.